They're getting drunk. They're getting drunk. They're a bunch of idiots getting drunk, talking about conspiracies, theories. There's really not much more to it than that. You're listening to Drunk Theory.
I really hope we're recording right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my
Good.
God.
Good. Because I'm going to take this Uniball Kurutoga .05 pencil and stab this woman in the neck. Just one time, just so she knows I'm serious. I'm serious.
Everything right.
She better not. If she edits it out, I will stab her twice.
Ryan is only going to get the intro, and then y'all
How
are
is she going to edit it out if she's stabbed in the neck?
Exactly.
Don't need my
Thank you.
neck to edit.
Thank you.
Dumb.
But you need your neck to transfer
We're
blood
gonna
to
have
your
a copy of all
brain.
of this for the trial then. Like,
Yeah, see?
Since we're married,
Um,
they can't use
you can
this.
stab her in the
They
neck
can
just
use-
because you're married.
No, I'm saying they can't use the evidence at trial since we're married. They can use they can use y'all, but not what I said.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
And you said
at
You
all.
can't be required to.
You said you're going to have the
talk against your
evidence
spouse. That's the whole thing.
while the person that's in charge of the recording file is in the room, so you might not have evidence.
I mean, how
Oh, we
you-
know what side Matt is on at this point. So,
I'm just saying. Fucking do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'll do it. I'll fucking do it.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Drunk Theory. I'm Karen.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Matthew.
And I'm Ryan.
Today we are talking about Georgia conspiracies. We had planned on recording this at Days of the Dead, but we don't know how to keep schedules.
We got... And go. I'm sorry, my phone's making noise.
We got sidetracked and didn't get to record.
We got incredibly drunk for a whole entire weekend, so...
Plus, we got kicked off all of our social media.
Yeah, so we're catching up now. We're doing Georgia conspiracies. Kelly, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Georgia on My Mind. So to make this drink, you're going to take 4 basil leaves. You're going to tear them up and put them in a cocktail shaker without ice. You're going to muddle them. And what that's going to do is that is going to release the flavor of your basil, which is wonderful with bourbon.
What is that though? Like, what does that mean doing to them? I don't know.
Muddling.
Yeah, what is what?
You smash
It's
them
a
up.
tool.
She takes that dildo thing.
Oh, like a
Yeah, it looks like a
mortar,
dildo,
like a mortar,
and you
mortar
and you
pestle.
smash it.
Exactly.
Mortar pestle. Okay,
Exactly.
You smash your basil. That's going to release your flavor, and it goes excellent with
Like you're
bourbon.
an old school apothecary.
You're going to have 2 ounces of bourbon, and then a half ounce of ginger liqueur, and then 1.5 ounces of peach nectar, and then 2 to 3 dashes of celery bitters. You're going to shake all of that shit together with your shaker. You're going to add some ice before you do that to chill it, and then you're going to strain it into a rocks glass containing ice. And it is strong and wonderful, and I'm digging it tonight.
I didn't think it was that great.
I liked it after I added more of the peach shit. It is very fucking strong.
It is strong, but it is...
I'm liking it now. Yeah, I mean, if you can power through one,
Yeah.
after that, you're good to go.
This is the same page of that.
So, who wants to go first?
You go first, because I feel like you have the best.
That's why I shouldn't go first.
Is that right?
Yeah, that should be the closer.
Oh, is it close?
I'm going to be the closer. It don't matter. Who wants to go?
You want me to go first with the...
Sure, why not?
So what I have the Georgia sea monster, known as Altamaha, also known as Altie the sea monster. There have been sightings of this creature in the marshes and channels around the mouth of the Altamaha River, which is close to the area of Savannah. So this creature is the most often seen in the area around Darien and Butler Island, and this is on the southeast coast of Georgia, around 60 miles of Savannah. Just a bit of trivia that I found out. Darien, Georgia was originally settled in 1735 by Scottish settlers from Inverness, Scotland, which is an area also known for sightings of the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, wow.
That's fucked up. I did not know that at all.
So,
Oh, but remember we decided that that's not a real thing. That's just a big whale dick.
The Loch Ness
Yeah.
Monster is the whale. But but it was still interesting that, the same people settled this area. There have been recorded sightings since the early 1800s, and Altie is one of the most reported sighted cryptids in North America. So, the Tama and Creek Indians of Georgia had legends of giant snake-like creatures that lived in the Altamaha River. A famous early sighting was reported in the Savannah, Georgian newspaper on April 18th, 1830. So this was actually from Captain Delano of the ship Eagle. He reported seeing the monster off of St. Simon's Island below the mouth of the Altamaha. 5 of his crew members said they also saw something. He described the monster as being 70 feet long with a circumference of a sugar barrel.
Humpback whale, big.
He said that it had a head the shape of an alligator, and it moved with its head about 8 feet above the water.
Gravy.
Other residents of St. Simon's Island told the reporter that they had also seen a strange creature there. Some eyewitnesses say that it was a whale. Captain Delano said, bullshit, because I'm the captain of a vessel. I've seen lots and lots of fucking whales. That's not what the fuck this was. There were also multiple reports of seeing the creature in 1981. And this followed a lot of publicity around the Loch Ness Monster. I had to look up what the publicity for this might be. And apparently in 1981 there was a movie released called The Loch Ness Horror. So then there was like a lot of like tabloid Loch Ness Monster sightings. So there was also a lot of sightings of this Altie at the same time. Later witnesses described the creature as being 15 to 30 foot long with a snake-like head. Some describe it as having front flippers like a seal. And they say that the creature moves quickly through the water. A popular theory is that the creature might be an alligator gar. And what that is it is a big-ass ancient fish. And those have been recorded up to 10 feet and 350 pounds. But they also have a vascularized swim bladder, which allows them to breathe air, which means they could break the water with their heads and breathe air. In 2018, a carcass was found on the beach of Wolf Island National Wildlife Refuge near Darien. And then pictures were sent to local news outlets who forwarded them along to local marine scientists at Tybee Island Marine Science Center. So, scientists at the Georgia Department of Natural Resources and Georgia Southern University and Savannah State University, they only had the photos to go with because there was no body recovered. Apparently, it was being eaten and carried away by herons and seagulls. So, with no body to study, the scientists were torn. Some thought that it was a basking shark. Some thought that it was a hoax and that the creature was made out of clay. So it turns out that both of them were right. A performance artist named Zardulu confessed that he had created the creature from a shark carcass and paper mache. So he had...
Fucking gross.
Yeah, so he had taken this shark and...
Where the hell did he get a shark carcass?
Maybe something that had washed up on the... Like, it wasn't massive, but maybe something that had washed up on the ocean. Maybe that was already dead that he added to with clay. The person that had run across it was like, it has to be a real thing because the herons and the seagulls are eating at it and they're tearing flesh. So, so it was nasty, but it, this guy says, yeah, it was me and it's art or whatever. So, in 1991, the Altamaha River was named a bioreserve, which is a protected area for conservation of endangered species. The Altamaha River Basin is home to more than 100 rare and endangered species. So there is all kinds of shit in there that's just weird and like science isn't even fighting that. They're like, yeah, there's some weird shit in there. But yeah, it's interesting, and like with it being like marshy areas, I feel like there's all kinds of
Well, there's all kind of shit in the water anyway. All the water everywhere is full of just
water
weird,
scares the shit out of me.
weird shit. So not a whale dick though, right?
It probably is a whale dick.
I'm going whale dick again.
I don't think this is a whale dick.
Probably a whale dick.
It's definitely a whale dick.
If you can't explain it, it's a whale dick.
Well, I feel like big ass snake would be a better explanation than
Nope,
whale dick.
it's a whale dick.
Okay.
Maybe, I guess, but supposedly that's what whale dicks look like. So,
They're big ass snake dicks.
well, yeah, that's what they said, in Loch Ness Monster. So,
Yeah.
Loch Ness is a whale dick.
as is Altie. What if it's the same whale?
Probably.
Traveling. No, because they were saying it at the same time, right?
Yeah.
I want to watch that movie.
When you say at the same time, like, what do you mean by that?
Well, they were saying the Loch Ness Monster at the same time, and that's in Scotland,
Right.
so it couldn't be the same whale.
But I mean,
Flashing
same time,
Yeah, they
like
can
within.
travel thousands of miles in a week or two. Yeah,
Can you get to Georgia from Scotland in the water?
yeah. If whatever Loch
Yeah.
let out
I
to
don't
sea,
know where Scotland is.
it's Loch Ness means it's a lot of water, like an inlet, kind of like a lake,
that
but
mean
it's a lake that leads out to
Georgia?
the ocean. So the ocean leads to the East Coast.
But is it? There's more
What's
than
on
an ocean.
what's on the
Is
East
it
Coast,
the same
everybody?
ocean?
What's on the East Coast, everybody? Georgia.
But is that where Scotland is?
In
No.
case you didn't know, Georgia
Scotland leads
has
to
a
the ocean
beach.
also.
Well, I know that, but there's some places up here and there's different oceans.
But they all meet everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, they do.
Separated.
No.
Yeah, but they moved that shit out of the Evergreen Canal like
Then why
2
do they
months
all have
ago.
different names?
Wait, how long ago was that?
Just the
How long ago
ocean.
was the Evergreen Canal shit? Was that like 2 months ago or like a year ago?
I don't even
know.
know.
The Suez Canal that got all blocked up.
Oh, that was
it. You've
that
already
was just
forgotten
a
about
month
that
ago.
because this year is so shitty.
They all have different names to identify the geographical region in which the body of water is at.
I still say you can't be in Georgia and Scotland flashing your dick at the same time. I mean,
But
I'm
that's
with you.
That's
You
why
flash
I
your
would-
dick at the same time.
that's why I'm asking, like, when you say same time, like within the same day, the same week.
Right, and we don't know that. Like,
Exactly.
well, I mean, I guess in 1981 they would have records. Like, was Loch Ness seen on this? I didn't do research that deep.
Yeah. But, I mean,
found out
who-
why there were
who's
a lot of
Who's out there trying to spot Loch Ness and they see it and they call somebody in Georgia immediately? First thought, let me call Georgia and see if y'all see anything.
No, it would be reported in their newspaper.
and then we would have
And
it
then
in
our
our
newspaper.
newspaper. Yeah.
I'm not saying that they would call somebody in Georgia.
I'm gonna call Earl. Let him
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's kind of the point I'm getting at, though, is I went out and I saw something in the water today. It's reported in the newspaper that I saw it today. Not the exact time or anything like that. So there's discrepancies in the time.
But still, you can't get from Georgia to Scotland in a day,
yeah.
swimming in the water.
That's why it's been a couple of weeks.
That
at
is
least.
exactly. I'm not saying you can get there in a day. That's why I'm asking what the actual time frame is.
You
How
overestimate
fast?
our-
How
our
fast
research.
how fast can whales travel? And what's the difference? The distance between Scotland and Georgia? That's like 2 searches. This is 5 minutes worth of work. Everybody, let's work together.
No, I don't care that much.
Oh, okay.
And it depends on the current as well.
But also, wouldn't these be
Well, it's currently
like either
7:31,
fresh
so
It would be because it's a lake,
or
right?
brackish water
I
creatures?
see-
so
I
they
see what
wouldn't
you
be
did there.
in the ocean.
I'm glad
crossing.
you appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
Right?
I got it.
Am I being stupid or
No,
What?
I think that's right. This is one of them is freshwater and one of them is saltwater.
Well, no, they're both in lakes, so they would be fresh or brackish. They wouldn't cross the ocean, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
they could lead to it, but no animal should be able to cross over. So you're right. Shit.
So
I didn't think about that. I
there
completely forgot
are-
about fresh versus salt water.
there are some fish that can tolerate both.
That is true. And the alligator from Lake Placid totally did that shit.
And this is a creature we know nothing about, so maybe it can tolerate both.
That's true.
Could be an alien, too.
And
You see that a lot around coastal towns where the fresh water and the salt water meet.
yeah,
You know,
that brackish area.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you think fish just swim up and they're like, oh, I taste salt, I'm turning around, you know.
I figure it burns
No.
them or something
There are
like
some
snails.
that only are fresh, and then I feel like there are some that are brackish, and then there are some that are salt. So,
Yeah.
like, you would have to be a saltwater fish to be able to survive in that ocean environment to get to, from Scotland to Georgia.
And this might be, though. I mean, we don't know anything about this creature. Besides, it's a whale dick.
Yeah. Whale dicks can
Can
survive
whale-
all of the,
Yeah.
the salinities of water, apparently.
Maybe that's why this thing can, like, jump out of the water. So it can, like, spit the salt out of its mouth. It just fucking jumps up and spits and catches a big old gulp of breath and dives back down. Who knows?
That seems
I mean,
more and more like a whale dick. Alright, so I did Lake Lanier, which is a reservoir in northern Georgia, and that's all I put, so I don't know where that is. It's just like at the top of Georgia somewhere. This reservoir is 38,000 acres, which is apparently 59 square miles of water. 692 miles of shoreline, and it was named after a Confederate Army poet named Sidney Lanier. It was built and is operated by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for flood control and water supplies. To build this lake or whatever, during construction, they destroyed more than 550,000... I'm all of a sudden drunk. Its construction destroyed more than 50,000 acres of farmland and displaced more than 250 families, 15 businesses, and relocated 20 cemeteries along with their corpses, the corpses that they could find. They still say that they know that there were unmarked, full-ass cemeteries under there that, just got left. They created it, they told the families, and they paid the families, to leave or whatever. Because they're like, we're going to build this dam, and then we're going to fucking flood this shit. And it's going to turn into a whole fucking thing. So, they went through, and they got rid of anything that would be a hazard later. Like, there's a whole racetrack under there, but they tore out the bleachers. Buildings and stuff, churches. But there are still some buildings that are left. So, the people went and watched as they flooded it, which, how cool would that be? But it would kind of be shitty. But, like, how cool would that be? To stand and watch them, I mean, just
I feel like I would get sick watching it.
put your whole town underwater. But, let's see.
Like, the thought of it kind of makes me sick, and I don't know why. Like,
Seeing it get full of water like that, I think it'd be neat.
Yeah.
But, because of this, obviously, there's a bunch of ghost stories. And, if you go to, and all I did was Wikipedia because that's how I roll. But,
that's my job.
there are some really good backstories for some shit that I'm not going to talk about on here because we're not like a crime podcast or whatever, but it's worth reading about. This shit is fucking wild. This shit's fucking wild. But, fun fact, y'all watch Ozark.
love Ozark.
They filmed that there. That's filmed at Lake Lanier.
Oh!
I had no fucking idea. So, since 1994, over 200 people have died in swimming and or boating accidents on this lake. In 2018, fucking Jimmy Buffett opened a goddamn water park there. And it's called Margaritaville at Lanier Islands. And I was like, holy shit, so now I'm going to Jimmy Buffett conspiracies. Right? So, but let me tell you what, I Googled Jimmy Buffett conspiracies, and all it comes up, he has a song called The Peanut Butter Conspiracy. Have any of y'all ever heard this song?
No!
It's about him and his friend stealing peanut butter and sardines from the mini mart.
Why would you steal the worst? That's the worst thing
I don't know.
ever.
But part of the lyrics to this song say that if they ever get rich, they're going to pay the Mini Mart back. And he has said in concert that they did, in fact, pay the Mini Mart back.
Because Jimmy Buffett is
I
just
thought that was super cool.
So it's not
a
really
nice human being.
a conspiracy then.
It was a
like-
conspiracy for them, though, and because the whole
Oh,
song, I mean, it breaks
yeah.
down how they did it.
I guess, yeah.
One has to be the lookout, and it talks about how one watches the big round mirror, and they're like, who's going to get the sardines, who's going to get the peanut butter? Like, it's fucking weird. Divers have reported seeing catfish the size of Volkswagens and random body parts, which would not still be body parts at this, like 60 years later.
It depends on
Would it
how.
just be bones? They said that they would reach out and feel an arm. No, you wouldn't.
No.
Well, I mean, maybe it's a recent.
A recent person's death.
Yeah.
That could be a thing.
But a recent just drowning would be a person. If
Yeah,
they're finding
Also-
one
body
of their
parts,
parts.
yeah, that is a problem.
Unless somebody like cut off a body and ditched it in the lake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a problem.
Also, it's probably not the case here, but in some like swampy areas, you throw a body in the water, and the bog will like preserve the body.
Oh, yeah.
In a way.
Modified bog shit.
Yeah.
There is an urban legend. It's called the Lady of the Lake, and the story behind this is that there were two women in a car wreck. Like their car goes off a bridge and lands in this lake, and people say that they see the ghost of one of the women wandering around the bridge at night wearing a blue dress, and like apparently people see it all the time. So that's fucking wild.
I feel like people say that about any bridge that crosses water.
Oh yeah, and that's the same thing. There's like what is it, Crybaby
Yeah.
Bridge? Every fucking town has a Crybaby
Yeah,
Bridge.
yeah.
Oh, apparently there's lots of YouTube videos where divers will go down, and you can see like sunken houseboats and all the stuff that's still down there. But so that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, I feel like, well, I wouldn't be diving because I don't get in the water, but I feel like if I did it and then I saw like a town or something,
I think it'd be neat.
like
I
the
think that would
thought of
be
it just
fucking
makes me sick. Like,
Some people report that they hear church bells. Because obviously that town had a church. But officials have come out and said that no, the steeple and everything, like the bells and all of that, would have been taken down. But people swear up and down that they hear church bells out on that lake. That'd be wild too, wouldn't it?
I mean,
how
lake,
far are we from Lake Lanier?
we're not far. It's just above Atlanta. It's a nice lake. I mean, I kayak there.
Well, I'm definitely not.
You've
getting
been
in.
there?
Yeah, I
I'm not
kayak.
going kayaking, but maybe we can go walk around.
We could go to Margaritaville.
Yes. Yes.
Hell yeah! And I
Now
looked it up.
I can go kayaking. We can go to Margaritaville.
I looked it up. They are open for the season. It looks like tickets are $35, but then they also have like cabanas you can rent if you want to stay or whatever. Looks
yeah.
neat as hell.
All right, I'm fully down for this.
But yeah, anybody who's into it, like look up just any of the crime podcasts that have done lately, because I mean that's some fucked up shit. I got some wild shit going on out there. Matt,
Kelly did research. I did not do research per my usual. I kind of looked over it though. It is kind of. I'm not going to talk shit. What?
it's thorough research.
Yeah, it's very thorough. So Kelly did research on a murder in Coweta County, and apparently, was it a cop? It was a sheriff of the town. Is that?
Andy Griffith, what?
Did he? Well,
No, Andy Griffith was not the sheriff. Johnny Cash was the sheriff
in the movie.
in the movie.
But
yeah.
I'm talking about the real
Right.
action.
Yeah.
So it was the sheriff that killed somebody,
No.
or the rich guy.
Rich guy.
Rich guy killed somebody.
Is Bernie still a deputy?
No.
Take the one bullet out of your pocket.
I love that shit. Sorry, I love the one bullet thing.
So to summarize, some rich dude apparently killed somebody, and like I guess he thought he could run the town because he was super rich and owned everything.
Yep.
Had all the cops in his pocket or whatever, and You said, Andy Griffith played the sheriff in the movie.
No, he did not.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny
Johnny
Cash.
Cash is the sheriff.
in the
Andy
movie.
Griffith.
I'm lost on your
Andy is
notes.
Barney. And Johnny is Andy, apparently.
I'm lost.
Andy is the bad guy in the movie.
Okay. So I'm trying to like summarize through all the details that, but I'm drunk, so it's hard. So anyways, the rich guy kills somebody, has everybody in town, like the cops and all, in his pocket, and decides to dispose of the body. And based on this research, that did not go over well. Right? Leave me alone here. Help me out.
Alright, so, what's his name?
I don't fucking know. Hold on. Let's see. What is his name? John Wallace?
John Wallace. So, he's mega rich. He owns the town. He owns everybody. He owns the cops. He's like the person everybody hates. So, he has a guy that works for him that he finds out
He's bootlegging.
is bootlegging on the side. And that person...
Alcohol or...
Yeah, bootlegging alcohol.
Oh, okay.
But just...
He's making that shine.
Yeah, he's making that shine on the side.
So anyways, dude fires him for bootlegging. And then he decides that, fuck you, you fired me, I'm going to get back at you. So he stole his cows.
He stole 2 of his cows.
2. Very specific 2 cows he stole. I feel like if you're rich and somebody steals 2 cows from you, like, what fucking
No,
dude?
it's possible at that
But
point.
this dude is like,
guess.
I want everything. You know, I've run this motherfucker.
Who had the nerve
Who had
to
the
steal my
nerve to
fucking
steal
cows?
from me? And that's exactly the way it was. Yeah.
So anyways, he got arrested for stealing this guy's cows or whatnot. And they released him from jail because they didn't have any evidence, lack of evidence.
But that is a really important thing here because they totally had evidence. The cop was in Wallace's pocket. Like, he needed him to let him out. So it was very obviously a setup.
So yeah, it says when the guy left jail, he saw Wallace and a few of his guys waiting for him. I guess. Oh, sorry, so I guess maybe some of his henchmen or workers or whatever, people in his posse were waiting for this guy when he got out of jail. He tried to get away. He jumped in his truck and tried to run. They chased after him in a couple cars, but they sucked like all the gas out of his truck, so he couldn't go far. He ran out of gas.
Who took the gas out?
The
dudes that were there.
The henchmen.
Oh, the henchman people. Okay.
The
But also Wallace was there himself. Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, whenever he ran out of gas, they caught up to him. Wallace, the rich guy, just pistol whipped the fuck out of this dude. And when he did, the gun went off. And I guess he got shot, did he?
No.
He didn't get shot. He just got pistol whipped so hard he died.
He got pistol whipped, and that becomes a thing. Maybe. Maybe. So
You hit him hard enough, the gun went off.
that becomes
But
a
that
thing
didn't
because
go.
where they are is in another county, which puts it in another sheriff's jurisdiction, which is what makes this whole case. Like, because if they had been in...
Yeah. So the rich guy has the sheriff in his county in his pocket.
Right.
But he ain't got shit
But
going on in
this guy ran out of gas right across the county line.
Yes.
They didn't suck enough of it out.
Right.
So whenever they apparently pistol whipped him to fucking death, they were in a different county, different sheriff that the rich guy did not have in his pocket.
And there were a shit ton of witnesses who came forward, and they're like...
So there were just people standing around watching this guy get...
Yeah, because it was...
Death?
Well, no, they only hit him... They hit him once and put him back in the car.
And then they...
But everybody there knew that that shit was not right. So they called their cops at that time.
So pretty much they hit him, and when they hit him, the gun went off. So everybody heard the gunshot and saw that, and they saw him fall over.
Yeah.
I guess they would imagine, oh shit, this dude just got shot in the street.
Yeah.
And they picked him up, threw him in the back of the car or whatnot, drove back and disposed of his body, what'd it say, in a well.
In a well.
On the rich guy's property. So maybe he wasn't.
Never do that.
That's fucked up.
Never hide a body in your own fucking well.
It's not done yet. It's not done yet.
So I guess whether or not he's dead or alive is still unknown at this point. So I guess they assume he's dead and they throw him down in the well. So the sheriff from the other county started researching it and investigating and everything because it happened in his county. And the rich guy got nervous about that because he doesn't have that sheriff in his pocket. And he got 2 of his field hands to go pull the body up out of the well. And it doesn't say whether or not they cut him up, but they burned it. They burned the body and kind of just scattered the ashes out everywhere.
This sounds like a Netflix documentary. Like the Avery.
No,
This is like even more fucked up, but like the same shit, burning the body on your own property and shit. Like what? What the fuck?
So after a few days of the investigation, the sheriff found somebody who was an informant that pointed them in the right direction of those 2 guys that disposed of the body.
For $20.
And they, probably, I mean, back then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like real cheap. Like
Yeah.
$5. Hell yeah.
I don't know if we said the time period for this murder, but this is a 1940s murder.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, we didn't say that. I was saying it was the 80s.
No, it's
The-
4
the-
Oh, for
the
$5 definitely. Then
The
yeah.
movie, it was a 1983 movie. There was a 1976 book. But, yeah, the actual murder was a 1940s murder.
So yeah, the cop approached those 2 guys, the 2 field hands, and they pretty much just spilled the beans right there. Like, yep, we did it. He told us to do it, and took them to the location, or pointed them in the general location of where they scattered the body out. They ended up finding bone fragments and figured out they were, in fact, human. So they found, I guess, parts of it that didn't burn all the way.
Because that's all they could do at the time is judge that they were human. I mean,
Yeah.
And both of those, whenever the guy got arrested and went to trial, both of those guys testified against him. And this dude, being super rich, running the town or whatnot, just went in there and thought he could fucking do whatever he want in court.
It's like Roadhouse, where the guy who thought
Yeah.
he could just do whatever he wanted in town, and finally people were like,
Yeah.
fuck this shit. I don't take so much.
And his lawyer was, obviously telling him to
shut the fuck up!
shut his fucking mouth.
Fuck up Friday.
That's
Shut
right.
the fuck up!
But, him being rich, cocky, and having everybody in town in his pocket, he's like, whatever, I mean,
He's just an all-around douchebag.
what the fuck are they going to do to me? And his lawyer's over there like, nope, shut your fucking mouth, dude.
Shut your fucking face, motherfucker.
So he told the story of what happened or whatnot, and he got found guilty and sentenced to death. And in 1950 was electrocuted.
That didn't take long.
What year was he?
I feel
What year
like
was he?
now,
What
if
year
you
was
get
he?
sentenced to death,
What year was
it
he?
takes him 25 years.
What year was he
for arrest.
convicted?
It doesn't say the year he was
So the crime was
convicted.
in the 40s.
So it could have been more than 7 or 8 years. Yeah. Now you
I
get
think it
a
was
minimum.
like a
I think of like
1948 crime.
you get like 10 years of appeals
1948.
before
It doesn't say.
anything
Oh, did I not?
guaranteed or some shit like this. Like
Nope.
crazy how many you can do.
It doesn't say
Damn.
when the crime was.
No, but there was like a whole thing that was so funny about the trial that he thought that he could get away with it by making the jurisdiction off. Like, no, he didn't die in this place in Coweta County where everybody saw me pistol whip him. He actually died over here, in our county. So this court doesn't have any jurisdiction and all that, and that did not work out so well for
When you said making the jurisdiction off, it kind of sounded like the
But it could have been
jury had
true,
to do
right?
something
I mean,
dirty.
But
Make
If
the
they took him
jurisdiction
back to
off.
his house, it
We have
was
to do
in
what?
Coweta or whatever.
Yeah.
What? I thought it was just guilty or not guilty.
the cop.
Who's the crazy airplane guy?
The cop was really
was a
sick.
cop?
Howard Hughes.
He's
The-
like, well, yeah,
the
Howard
cop
Hughes
had-
rich.
They
There you
had
go.
like let the guy out, knowing that he was going to get murdered.
Oh, God.
He got charged, I know, but I think he was
damn.
really sick and maybe had already died by the time all of this came to pass.
I wouldn't expect him to charge. Well, maybe.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but the two field hands did not get charged, and there was like some major things that happened out of this because this was the first time in Georgia that a white man had been executed on the testimony of black men.
That is an important thing. The
Uh-huh.
fact that they took his word over a white man, that's a big ass thing.
Because
That's like
the whole
Atticus.
time.
That's Atticus Finch. That's like the whole
Yeah.
fucking thing. What? Oh shit! What movie?
It's
Oh,
like, no one's
Kill a
going to
Mockingbird,
convict me
yeah.
because it's just. And yeah, it was the first time that it had ever happened in Georgia. So, I don't know, interesting, I think.
I'm gonna go watch that movie now.
I remember Ray Charles not playing in Georgia because they wouldn't allow mixed audiences, and they ended up changing the fucking what they allowed because he brought in so much fucking business.
I was about to say, ain't he blonde?
Yes,
Why?
Ray Charles is blind. So is Stevie Wonder.
Is Ray Charles blind?
Yes, they're both
So
blind.
how would he know that? Oh, I guess he just knew because I say.
He can ask people what he looks like, you know.
I know what he looks like, but what the audience,
Hey, what does the
I'm
audience
sure
look like?
he knows what. I mean,
You know.
I'm sure.
Blind
Or
people don't
just-
know what they look
Hey,
like.
hey, Bill, who's in the third
I guess
row?
they don't know the colors. I mean,
No,
and
that
don't
would-
care. I
yeah.
guess.
They wouldn't even know what the color means, really,
Yeah.
unless they had sight from birth and lost it. They'd have no idea what even a color was. Like, really think about it. Like, you...
Like, they wouldn't even know what, like, humans look like.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, they kind of do because they can feel faces. That gives them an
Well-
idea of the shape, but, like, they have no
But
idea
you've never
what...
seen a shape.
Without the hair... Like, imagine a human without hair and the
And also,
tones
people
and
don't let them,
everything.
like,
Is,
you know, like
Yeah, what do they think happens below them?
the face.
they only know what, like, two
All
people...
this has to be cut out, 'cause
Oh,
we're so
actually look like
insensitive, but I really want to know.
body-wise.
Like,
That's weird, really.
I
Think
do
about
want to
that.
know. Like,
Think about that. Like, everybody with eyes normally has seen multiple people naked. Blind people have only ever seen, with their hands naked, the people they've slept with and themselves. Because they can't see anybody else. They have to touch them to see them naked. And they only ever touch anybody's faces.
Why
so
are we talking about blind people seeing naked people?
I
Ray
have no
Charles,
idea how we got to
because
this.
Ray, we were
I
talking
have
about,
no idea.
we were talking about Ray Charles and he wouldn't...
Yeah, I
I was confused because I was like, how does he know that the audience wasn't mixed because wasn't he blonde?
was.
I'm doing the Georgia Guidestones. They're in Georgia. Doing Georgia.
We're doing Georgia conspiracies.
So,
Georgia.
Georgia Guidestones. That's what I'm fucking
Georgia.
doing. So, we're going to start with this shit. Alright. So, apparently, officially, nobody knows exactly who had this shit built. A man showed up in June of 1979, and he used a fake name, R.C. Christian, R.C. Christian, and went to Alberta Granite Finishing Company and said he wanted to build some sort of monument to people of the future with gods and whatnot. And he was doing it on behalf of a small group of loyal Americans. The stones would function as a compass, a calendar, a clock, like a sundial. Okay, yeah, not like a normal clock, but yeah, like a sundial. And then supposedly should be able to withstand catastrophe. He quoted some ridiculous amount, like 4 to 5 times what he normally would, because he didn't want to do it, and he thought the guy was crazy. And the guy was like, cool, when can you get started? So they started building it, and as the guy talked with the fake named man or whatever, at one point he talked about the group had been planning this for 20 some odd years. So since the 60s they've been planning to build this thing, which they obviously have been if they have the money to do all this shit. I don't know if y'all know how much granite costs,
Hold on.
but this is 237,000
Isn't RC
pounds.
Cola made here?
North Carolina.
That's North Carolina. That's 2 states away, but you might be onto something.
RC Christian.
I was thinking that with those initials RCC, I immediately thought RC Cola.
Yeah.
We might have just created a
Oh,
whole new
we cracked the code,
or,
y'all.
or this might already be the conspiracy of it.
I
I have no idea.
I'm sorry.
Did
go
you
ahead.
come
No,
across
you're good,
anything
you're
with
good.
RC Cola?
Think the-
with this?
I had that didn't even
Oh.
cross my mind. No,
The-
I have a
the
bunch of other
guy-
shit, but nothing about that.
The guy that ran RC Cola would have large amounts of money.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
I'm
hold
just
on.
going to do this
No,
real
you're
quick.
good. You're good.
RC Cola is apparently secret code for Roman Catholic cola. And that's all it says. I'm not going to click and read any more than that. I just know it. So there's a thing.
So if these were Christian fundamentalists,
but people
this actually
have
connects
already,
them. This is more evidence.
There are things on here. There are a ton of articles where it says RC Cola is RC Christian, question mark, Georgia Guidestones, RC Cola. So that's already, people have already done this. People have been like, wait a minute.
The official name is Royal Crown Cola, and the guy, it was made in 1905. The guy made it because he didn't want to buy Coca-Cola syrup.
He was super pissed and big cola.
Coke!
he was not, but he created it for a grocery store chain.
Oh, so that's like the original Dr. Thunder?
Maybe, yeah.
No, might be.
No, money.
So anyways, on with your guide song.
Sorry.
Oh no, y'all are good. All right, so all right, they've been planning it for 20 years. June 1979 is when they brought the idea. March 22nd, 1980, finished. Made all granite and heavy as fuck, like I said earlier. There were one slab in the center with 4 slabs arranged around it, 5 in total, with a capstone on top to hold them in place. And then another stone tablet to the west of them with the history and purpose of the Guidestones, and then a smaller ledger that was kind of a guide about what they were and how many languages and stuff they were. The Guidestones were in 8 new languages and 4 ancient languages.
And I know
So we'll go
it's
through these
hard.
2 things. Oh, yeah.
I just it's hard to picture the way you're describing it. We will put pictures
Yeah,
on our Instagram.
we got pictures
Me and
'cause we
Ryan
went.
have actually been.
Yeah, we went about 4 or 5 years ago.
Not to get sidetracked again, but RC is actually Georgia.
Dun dun dun! Y'all, we've done it. We didn't do it. 100 people did it for us, but we just now realized that.
Independently
RC Cola
ideas,
built
yeah, it
the
happens.
Georgia Guidestones.
You know. All right, so March 22nd, 1980, opened up. They are 19 feet, 3 inches tall, these 5 slabs, or 5.87 meters for the euros. And these, sorry, not 5, 6 granite slabs, because there's the one on the west that talks about them, weigh 237,746 pounds, or 107,840 kilograms. Also for you Europeans again.
We appreciate
Never
it.
know, yeah. Try
Is that-
to hook you up with
Is that
everything.
each individual one or all of them together?
That's all of them together.
Okay.
So yeah, so the 6 of them weigh 40,000 pounds roughly each granite slab. That's a lot of fucking weight. In 8 modern languages and 4 ancients, and these languages, I made sure to write down. The new languages are English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Classic Chinese, and Russian. And the 4 ancient languages are Babylonian and straight up cuneiform, like old school cuneiform. Yeah. Classic Greek in Sanskrit, and ancient Egyptian in hieroglyphs.
Which that's neat. See,
That's cool as shit,
seeing
right?
all of the shit written on there
So
was
that's
awesome.
all the
Right.
there's 12 languages total, and then there are there are 10 guidelines on the stones that are supposed to be a guide to the future and how to live and what to do, and a short message on how to live and what to do. So, oh, also, one other thing. The tiny little ledger on the side apparently mentions a time capsule that was buried that may or may not have been buried, and nobody knows if it's going to be dug up but it may be down there with some weird shit in it. Nobody knows. But I'd like to see someone go out there with some sort of machine that can see down, or even a metal detector or something. I mean, they're like an underground.
It's probably under that slab.
That's true. If it's under the granite, they couldn't do
something that could see through concrete.
I'm wondering if there's something they could shoot down that could shoot sideways and like echolocation that could see sideways if it shot straight down, like
beside it. To see
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You could use ground penetrating radar.
That's the one, yeah, like where they try to find bodies and shit. Yes, that's.
So it spreads out though, so you can do it next to the concrete.
It can, like it goes a certain distance and they go up and back. And if it can't see something, it won't see it, but it can go around that shit, so you'll have a blank section, but it can see the rest of it. And it goes like down and out, like in a bubble, I guess, kind of.
I'm absolutely fascinated. I want to go hang out at the house.
Right.
I mean, it's neat. It's super weird. The place that it's at is super weird. It's like right next to a fucking warehouse, and there's like a farm across the street. Like everything you read about
so you feel weird being there, like
it's just an
like it's
oddly,
not touristy or
no, it's not. Like it's just an.
It's in
oddly
Alberta,
placed
Georgia.
Thing,
it is in the middle of nowhere.
Like if you've never been there and you just
do you know
see
what it's
pictures,
near?
you think that it's
a granite quarry. Literally, that's why it's because they needed a bunch of granite,
and
you know how much it like trying to get it somewhere without it cracking. They need it to be close because they're so big.
Right across the street, there was like this farm or whatever, and they had. Do you remember the wooden bears? I was more interested.
Yeah, they had a bunch of carved bears out in their pasture.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna throw in this real quick before we get too sidetracked. Just the 10 guides or whatever that are listed on there. I've kind of paraphrased, but this is what they mean and or what they say pretty much to the letter.
And we might have a close-up picture of that.
Number 1, keep under 500 million people in total population for the world. As of right now, approaching 8 billion, possibly over, roughly. So that's a lot less, 10-ish times less. That'd be 700 million. So that's a lot of people that need to die, according to them, to be, not to me, but according to them, to be in their range. Number 2, improve fitness and diversity of the species through reproduction. Selective, pick the right people to, pick the right people to.
Yeah, don't just be fucking anybody.
Let's get it on. Well, I was going to be subtle, but yeah. Pick the right people to fuck and, you'll get better babies, apparently. Number 3, unite humanity with a new unifying language, like a single language for everyone to speak. Number 4, rule of any kind, passion, faith, tradition, should be done with tempered reason, not craziness. Don't rule with your emotions, rule with reason. I mean, some of these are all right, but killing a bunch of people are not letting
Well, it doesn't specifically.
It's kind of crazy. It's like they're getting less and less the farther you get. Like they got the real bad one out of the way first, so the rest ones seem not as bad.
Because you could look at it a different way. You could look at it as if the apocalypse happened. They're not saying kill a bunch of people are already dead. They're telling us to get it back up to this.
That's what you need to get to the right place. Okay.
So,
right.
glass half full over here.
All right.
Yeah,
now, number 5 is protect people and nations with fair and just laws and courts. Number 6, let all nations rule their own stuff internally unless they have an external conflict where I guess they've been attacked in a conflict, whatever, and we use a world court to decide that. Kind of United Nations kind of but the United States just says whatever, and who's going to say no to the United States? Nobody, because we have bombs and tomahawks and $1 million missiles and drones and shit, whatever. Don't drone me. Number 7. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. My favorite one.
Yeah.
My fucking favorite. Do you know who needs term limits? Everybody that's in government at all. Number 7. Number 8. Balance personal rights with social duties.
Oh shit, he did.
Y'all know I still laugh every time we get behind one of those trucks that says heavy duty.
And obviously I do too, because we're married. Of course I laughed first.
Y'all don't laugh when y'all see
y'all are fucking children.
We are.
Every time I see heavy duty, I laugh my ass off.
I am an adult, so that does not happen.
I don't buy that.
You don't laugh when you see a sign that says 2 humps coming up.
Or
and
no dumping.
Yes, that's my favorite.
No.
We have no dumping signs in our neighborhood. So.
All right,
You're the
number
only
9.
ones. Hold on.
I remember when I was 12.
Do what?
I said I remember when I was 12.
I remember when I had my first beer.
Number 9, perfect. Prize truth, beauty, love, and seek to be one with the infinite. Number 10, be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature.
I agree with the majority of that. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
And that's all I've got, you know.
no.
And we'll post pictures and whatnot, but Georgia
Ryan's in
Guidestones.
charge of Instagram, so if y'all have issues with the lack of postings, you can direct those to
That
Ryan.
is entirely his fault. Yeah.
direct those concerns to Ryan.
Send him a DM on Instagram. That way he'll never see it.
Yeah, he won't read it.
He will not. Right.
He'll open it up and be like, why is it red up here sometimes?
I know I have
What?
the pictures on my phone.
Carrie, I will address your
guarantee-
concerns when you contact us.
I
on Twitter.
guarantee tonight I will post a minimum of 3 Georgia Guidestone pictures
It will not
by
happen.
midnight
You
tonight.
have to go to
Guarantee.
work in the morning. You ain't gonna be up posting Instagram pictures at midnight. I need to get up at like 2 o'clock.
That will be Instagram pictures posted tonight.
We're done.
Well, I will be up all night checking this.
It's just every 15 minutes, and then you should tweet. You should
hey.
tweet. You don't have a Twitter. You can
I do
tweet
have a
him.
Twitter.
Do
You just don't know.
He
We're gonna
said.
find
He
it.
said by.
It's a Twitter that nobody knows about.
He's got
What
a
the fuck is
secret
that?
Twitter.
I don't even know what my name is. I
Well,
really don't.
Remember, we don't know his last name, so
That's
how
right.
can you find him?
That's right.
The man of mystery, according to his bio on our website.
I'm actually opening
That
the Twitter
everybody
app
should
so
go
I
visit,
can find out what my
drunktheory.com.
name is. I really don't know. I'm 100% serious.
What all shit we got? I feel like we got things we're supposed to talk about.
No,
Yeah.
no, not really.
The people that we love.
No, we were gonna do. Everybody. We got promos this week. Promo Paranormal Burrito. We love you.
Oh,
It's Paranormal Burrito week.
I love Paranormal.
Monsters, demons, ghosts, and
Oh my, I didn't see you there. You really spooked me. Just like my podcast, The Paranormal Burrito. We're a weekly podcast featuring a new guest every episode. So join us for fun and spooky stories. If you have a spooky story you'd like to share, email us at theparanormalburrito@gmail.com. The Paranormal Burrito, your true stories.
If you haven't checked out,
She likes Spanish food that is haunted in any form, especially Paranormal Burrito.
And there you go. Here's this promo. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed our episode on Georgia.
I know I did.
Y'all know what else you should enjoy that comes from Georgia? Biscuits and porn.
Biscuits and porn.
Except for it doesn't come from Georgia. It actually comes from South Carolina. That is a real restaurant that you can go into and you can eat a sausage biscuit and browse their porn section.
I didn't believe the story when Kara and Ryan first told me. I googled it, and it actually is a very real fucking restaurant.
It is a fucking real restaurant, and apparently their biscuits are fucking fantastic. And where is it? It's near the beach.
I think it was like Monk's Corner or something like that.
Biscuits and porn. So we're gonna run a contest.
All right.
It was Nag's Head.
Nag's Head.
Nag's Head.
Biscuits and
And that's in South Carolina, right?
Oh, that's North Carolina.
North Carolina. Well, I just got it all wrong. If you listen to this episode and you repost it on Twitter with just biscuits and porn as just the only words I want you to put on here, I want you to quote tweet our post of this episode with biscuits and porn. And you'll be entered into a contest, and eventually we will pick a winner.
And we might send you some porn.
Yeah, we might order some biscuits or...
Yeah.
Oh my god, you know what? Fun fact, though, there is a recipe for 7-Up biscuits from Granny still on our refrigerator. We can send you my grandma's recipe for 7-Up biscuits.
We're not joking. This shit
Oh,
has
this
been
is a
here
thing.
forever. Yes.
Yeah?
100%.
So, whatever.
At some point, I want a road trip and go to Biscuits and Porn.
I would absolutely take that road trip. How far is it? I've never even heard of that place.
I have heard of that place. I'm not sure how far it is. Let me see. Directions.
But y'all share this episode with Biscuits and Porn.
7 hours away. It's 472 miles from here.
I'm not in the
Seems like a
contest.
lot. That's like an 8-hour drive.
It's 7 hours.
That is too far for Biscuits and Porn. But I can see Granny Ann's 7-Up biscuits, and
Right.
Pornhub still exists for now. So
Alright, that's it.
that's it. What we got?
Show's
That's it,
over.
that's it.
Wah, wah.
That's it. Womp womp.
We had fun though.
Thanks.
Love y'all.
Love you all.
Fuck off. Whatever. What do we do?
They're getting